Alrighty, I believe we are live. Waiting on a few people to come in. If you're here already, go ahead and let me know if y'all can hear me all right. Put it down in the comments if y'all can hear me. And if you're watching this on the replay, thank y'all for watching. Go ahead and hit that like button. Don't forget to share the video as well. I believe a lot of people can get a lot out of what we're going to talk about. Y'all let me know if you can hear me. All right, somebody said they can hear me. All right, we're doing good. All right, well, let's do a little housekeeping before we get started. Waiting on our guest to jump on here in just a little bit, but just a few housekeeping things. I want y'all to know that you are free to post any questions, comments, or concerns, or any topics that you want to talk about in the group as well. It's not just me. I want to hear from y'all. Feel free to comment. And we're just going to have a conversation. We just going to have a conversation. If you're, let's see. All right. All right. Well, we got a couple topics we're going to talk about tonight while we're getting ready for our guest. I posted a question the other day in the group, and it was about respect. It was asking the question: do women lose respect for men that express or show their feelings or emotions too much? And we had a lot of interesting comments, a lot of interesting feedback that we got. We as men, we're always taught, not to show your emotions that much or let anybody know what you're feeling. We kind of like to hide things. Uh, Men keep it on the inside. Got to keep that rough, tough exterior or whatever. And then some people feel like that if you're in a relationship, that if you're a man and you're too emotional or you too weak in a relationship, that might be used against you. So we asked the question. I just want to know what y'all think about it, how y'all feel. Go ahead and answer the question in the comments. Do you think women lose respect for men who express their feelings and emotions too much? What do y'all think? I can't see who we got joining right now. Just type your name, and some of y'all I don't know that's in the group yet. So if you don't mind, go ahead and type your name, where you're from, your relationship status. And we gonna have the conversation. But yeah, lately I know, especially over the last year, this topic of relationships has really, I want to say, uh, blown up. Over the last several months. This thing about gender wars, and we just want to have a conversation. Somebody said, "What was the question?" Let me know. Can you see the question scrolling on the bottom? The question is: do women lose respect for a man that expresses feelings and emotions too much? Do women lose respect for a man that expresses feelings and emotions too much? Now, on one hand, you got women that like, or they at least say they like a man that express their feelings and emotions, and I guess want to express themselves or whatever. But what do they really want? Because I feel like, especially in 2020, that uh, women say they want one thing, but they're really going after another thing. They're really going after something different. What y'all think? I feel like if you show a woman your weakness, or it doesn't just have to be in a relationship, but from the relationship aspect of it, if you show too much emotions, hang on one second. People can use that against you. Raggedy chicks will use it against you. Real women want to hear a man's emotions. Okay. Are you Facebook user? Are you male or female? I don't know. Let us know at least if you're male or female, so we can kind of see where this is coming from. See the perspective that it's coming from. Raggedy chicks will use it against you. I'm not so sure. Not so sure. Oh, we got a guest on. This is our guest. Let me see. Can you unmute yourself, Val?
Beep beep toot toot. Hey, how you doing?
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
You can't hear me?
No, I can't hear you. Your mic is muted.
I got it. I unmuted it. Okay, there we are. Can you hear me now?
I still can't hear you. Did you come in with your audio?
Yes. Want me to go out and try it again?
Let me see.
Okay.
Let me bounce you off and then try to come back in.
Okay.
All right, that was the Alabama church girl. Oh, I couldn't hear. Y'all was saying y'all could hear. All right. All right, hang on 1 second. Let's try this again. Hang on 1 second. All right, let's do this again.
Beep beep toot toot. Can you hear me?
All right, we can hear you now. Okay, all right.
God, who is the head of my life?
Yeah, okay, we're doing good now. All right. Had to work out a few little kinks, but we're doing good now. We got the Alabama church girl radio personality on with us tonight. Miss Valerie, why don't you go ahead and tell us about yourself a little bit?
Well, first, giving honor to God, who is the head of my life. To all the leaders, saints, and friends, welcome, welcome, welcome on in. I'm your Alabama church girl. I'm just a little Southern girl, raised in the church, born in church, church. That's all I know. But I know a little bit about being a grown woman in a church girl world.
Right. Exactly. And one of the things that I wanted people to know or feel comfortable about in this group is that we don't always have to be so religious all the time. And I'm a pastor, but I always believe that, you can be so spiritually minded that you know earthly good. And, this is an area that I feel like our community is struggling in right now. So I just kind of want to give a different perspective, not so religious, but still, on the up and up as well, talking about our relationships in our community. So before you came on, I was asking the question that I posted in the group the other day
Uh-huh.
about women. Uh, do women lose respect for a man that expresses feelings or emotion too much? And you kind of gave your feedback on it, but you can't really fully get what somebody's saying, unless you kind of had a conversation. You
Right.
miss a little something through text message or whatever. So why don't you give us your thoughts on it as a female?
Well, first I want to say, Pastor, that I appreciate you even bringing the conversation up because I too feel like a lot of times we are so heavenly minded that we're no earthly good. We don't
Right.
consider the practical understandings that help us get through our day to day life. So I appreciate you for
Hmm.
being a pastor who is considering the practical.
Yeah.
And
Well,
let's
thank
just
you.
talk about from day to day, how can I manage with the women and men that I have to live with? And
Right.
how am I going to manage relationships? Basically, that's when I look at Jesus telling us to, be good to all men and do good. We got to learn how to manage relationships. We'll
Right.
never be able to go out and conquer the world if we don't know how to manage relationships. With that being said, to answer
Hmm.
your question, I I don't know, Pastor. I'm gonna tell you. I
Hmm.
like I said, I was raised in church in a
Come on,
Pentecostal
keep it
church,
real. Hey, keep it real now.
and I have been in church all my life. I've had been through a number of denominations. That's because I'm a singer and I did praise and worship for different denominations in different areas, been around the
Mhm.
world and I doing things. So I'm not, when I say what I want to say regarding your
Mhm.
answer, I want the audience to understand I'm still a woman of God, submitted to the word of God when I say
Mhm.
what I need to say. Now, with all that preface,
Okay.
I feel that it's okay and I appreciate my guy being vulnerable with me in the appropriate times.
Mhm.
I think that a lot of times men think that the only emotion that they are allowed in our culture to display is anger.
Mhm.
And that's unfortunate. So you hurt like I hurt. You
Right.
feel like I feel.
Mhm.
God gave you emotions just like he gave me emotions. So,
Right.
in the appropriate time, I think that it's okay for him to be vulnerable.
Mhm.
Because in the same way, I feel that my emotions weigh no heavier in my humanity than your emotions weigh in your humanity. So,
Mhm.
it's an understanding and a social understanding that women are more emotional. I don't believe that. I don't believe that
Mhm.
at all. I think that God created us equal.
Mhm.
That you
Okay.
have emotions just like I have emotions, and that when at the appropriate time, I need to be able to be vulnerable with my guy and
Mhm.
display my emotions at the same time. Now, with that being said, I'm sure he don't want me crying all the time, right?
Mhm. Right.
From a male perspective, I'm sure he's like, oh, why is this lady always crying or always got a moody attitude?
Mhm.
I don't want that from my man either. I don't want my
Right.
man
Right.
always, whining about something, always
Mhm.
complaining about something. Who wants to live with somebody doing that all the time? Whether it's the man having to live with a woman do that or the woman having to live with a man do that.
Mhm.
Am I
Yeah.
am I being fair?
I think you're being fair, but let's take, for example, does it matter what they're being vulnerable about at the time? How about that? Because it's some stuff that women think men don't care about, or think that men shouldn't care about, but we actually care about it. You know,
Give
am I
me an
making any sense?
example.
Okay. For example, uh, I was in a situation. I'll just talk about me. I was in a situation where I was asking for a little bit more quality time, and the lady at the time was, well, I didn't think men cared about that kind of stuff, but yeah, we do. So men care about quality time with their significant other as well,
Yeah.
but she felt like that was something that I shouldn't care about.
Well, I think differently. I
Mm,
think you should care about quality
mm,
time, and then
yeah.
that might be your love language. You
Mm,
know,
right.
I like I live with my son and my guy who are very touchy feely. Gotta hug, gotta love on, gotta
Yeah.
always be under me. And I'm not that person. I'm just like, okay, I need some space now, please,
Yeah.
please, please. But
Mm,
I understand that that's their love language, especially my
yeah.
son. Oh my God. If I need to calm him down off the bridge, mama
Mm.
knows to go just rub the baby back, because the baby needs a little loving and touching because that's his love language. So,
Right.
I think getting to know and understand a person, you probably will know. She probably would have learned that that's probably one of
Mm,
your love languages, that you
mhm,
need that quality time. But when you say an inappropriate time to be like super vulnerable, I mean,
mhm.
like I stubbed my toe and I can't get over it. That type of thing. That's like, okay, come on now. Come on, come
Yeah.
on.
Yeah. I get where you're coming from, but like I said on the post, men have kind of known this, for a long time, and it's kind of, I don't want to say it's cliche, but you know, I believe you and I are close to the same age,
Okay.
and
When
if
did you graduate high school?
I graduated in '05.
Oh no, I'm older than you.
Oh, yeah, I
I
can't
got you
say.
by a little bit.
Oh, okay. Well,
I got you by almost a decade.
oh no, you doing good then. Okay. Well, if you think about the time that you grew up in, right,
Hmm.
and the time that we're in now, I mean, it seems as though I don't want to say the wrong thing, but it seems as though uh, people are a lot softer now than how it was when we were growing up.
But
You know,
that was prophesied. It was prophesied in the word. It's right there written, said that they will be weaker and wiser.
yeah, yeah, and that is true, and they are most definitely weaker. I don't know about wiser right now, but we always grew up saying, "Oh well, suck it up. You got to be a man." Or don't nobody want to see nobody crying all the time. And like with men, we carry a lot of pressure and a lot of stress and other things around that uh, we internalize a lot of the times. And sometimes it just has to come out.
Hmm.
Whether you, but I was always taught, don't do it in front of your woman.
But see, that's where I think I know I differ, because I
Mm-hmm.
think that your spouse should be your sacred place. You
Mm-hmm.
know, everybody needs a person.
Yeah, I
God said
agree.
God said it is not good for man to be alone.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody needs to have somebody. I need to make a partner for you, a help me, somebody that's going to help you get through this. So
Mm-hmm.
a lot of times I feel like friendship, and I do feel like my partner is my friend.
Mm-hmm.
Friendship keeps us out of a lot of psychological trauma, helps us deal with and get over and master, especially a good friend that is grounded in the word as well, that can give you good counsel, that can give you good comfort, that can be a companion, that can be compassionate. All these
Yeah.
C's. You need a good friend with a good C.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
I
think
got you.
I feel like a good companion, a good partner should be that soft place where you can fall and they're there to
Mhm.
catch you. That's the way I see it. Like I even if I didn't have male companion, I want a good girlfriend I can go to and say,
Mhm.
girl, I'm having a day today.
Yeah.
So I feel like that everybody needs that somebody. Even if you're not
Right.
in a love relationship, you got to have that somebody. For me, for a long time in my singleness, my mama was my somebody, so
Yeah.
everybody needs to have that somebody that you can be. This is just my perspective. You might have a different one, but I
Mhm.
feel like everybody needs that somebody that you can be vulnerable with, like that you can open yourself up to, and you know that they will care about the issues of your heart, that they will
Mhm.
protect them, and they will value, and then they can be a confidant to you as well, and keep your issues locked up and take them to God, and take them to the Lord in prayer, and not take them to the whole neighborhood. But
Right.
I do feel like everybody needs to have somebody that they can call on and be vulnerable with. Yeah.
Mhm. Okay, but in the heat of the moment, and I agree with you 100% in everything you're saying. But in the heat of the moment, let's just say you into it, and take yourself aside, put yourself aside just for a second. Overall, do you think that women will ultimately lose respect for a man for being too emotional or expressing feelings too much? In other words, is there a time where you cut the line off, you draw the line and say, okay, now you know, this is a little bit much for me, you know?
Um. That's
Because I mean, in
that's a
my
loaded question, right?
yeah, and then kind of in my experience too, and just lately I've been talking to a lot of different people, about subjects just like this, you know, and I just go ahead and say it. A lot of times, women will use that against a man and use it as something negative, in a way to sort of emasculate or just take something away from them.
Okay, so the reason I said it's a loaded question is because yes, there
Mm-hmm.
are women who will exploit a man's vulnerabilities. Please excuse me. I have some
No, you
dental
fine.
work today.
No, you fine.
But and I think that is a form of her emotionalism as well,
Mm-hmm.
to act and say things out of anger and out of frustration, instead of being able to manage through a conversation in a healthy way.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the first part I want to put it into perspective, as it relates to your question, is communication.
Mm-hmm.
First thing is, for me, communication, communication, communication. I don't enjoy conflict.
Right.
And I say that having lived through and been raised in a house where there was always so I never liked arguing. I
Mm-hmm.
never liked fussing. But at the same time, I know what I want, and I'm assertive.
Mm-hmm.
So I will approach a conflict, but I won't do this.
Right.
I won't do this. But I know that there are those who do engage like
Mm-hmm.
this. And
Mm-hmm.
I think that it's always a healthier perspective to consider the relationship and what you want the outcome of that relationship to be after you have this tough conversation. And that's my approach when I have to face conflict in my own relationship. That, hey, I might be really pissed,
Mm,
But
yeah.
I don't want to say anything that's going to damage the relationship in the long run. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
So I think communication is something that we all can work on to better ourselves in overall.
Mm-hmm.
Secondly, there are you made a comment that the way you were raised was suck it up and keep
Mm-hmm.
going. You can't do this in front of your woman and this and that other. And there are a lot of men that have that
Mm-hmm.
same type of teaching and that same type of raising. And from my perspective, it seems like they put on this hard veneer and they
Mm-hmm.
never know when they can take they never know when they can take that armor off.
You're right.
That when you come home, you can take the armor off with your woman, or you should be able to.
Mm-hmm.
And they approach certain women with this hard veneer, and then you got some women who have been out here that have been unprotected, and they had to put on the veneer too.
Mm-hmm.
Because some of us women have really had to be our own protector.
Mm-hmm.
I know that God gave us men to be the protector and the provider,
Mm-hmm.
but some of us women have had to do it so long that it's like, wait a minute, man. I don't know where you think you going talking to me like
Mm-hmm.
that,
Uh-huh.
And so
Uh-huh.
that those two, here we go,
Right.
those two together can come into a very tense confrontation
Yeah.
where
Yeah.
I think having that extra tool of appropriate communication could help. That he has to understand that, hey, she is capable. She's fully capable, but she also has to understand that he is trying.
Right. Right.
And, and come to some type of balance,
Mm-hmm.
because at the end of the day, this world is hard on us all.
Right.
And we all trying to fight through and get to the end. We are all fighting that good fight of faith. You want to
Mm-hmm.
address that?
So Facebook user says they have to show their feelings just like we do. When they hold in, we want to know what's going on with them. I don't feel like the man is weak. It helps me to understand our relationship. Okay.
Right. And then something else with that is, I don't want to ever push my guy into a corner to feel like he can never express to me, because generally men that are pushed in that corner like that, when they come out fighting like a
Mm-hmm.
bear, and it's destructive and it's hurtful and it's mean and it's aggressive and it's probably too much
Mm-hmm.
to handle, because
Mm-hmm.
he's been pinning it up, he's been balling it up, he's been
Mm-hmm.
holding it in for so long. So I don't want that. So along the way, if we can just smooth things over through communication along the way, I'd rather do it that way.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. Let's see what else Facebook user said. Women on the
Right.
manhood. Mm-hmm. Raggedy chicks we use against you. Okay. Okay.
Come on, Facebook user.
I, I guess
Lord on
a
my
lot of people
soul.
that I hear this from a wet raggedy chick. So yeah, raggedy
And
chicks
that's
ain't
what
where it's
Facebook
at.
user said. That is not what the pastor
Right.
said. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't say that. I didn't say that. That's the comment right there. It wasn't me. Yeah. But yeah, I agree with you. Uh about 95%. And everything you saying is really really good. I think it gives us another perspective on how to look at this thing. But I hear you said something about the back and forth, the arguing and everything like that. You know, you also said something about the men trying and the women having to do everything on their own. But I think a lot of this comes into play because doesn't it go both ways? Because for me, I know how to cook, I know how to clean, I keep a clean house. You know, I do all my own yard work. I wash all my own clothes. So I mean, it kind of goes both ways, you know.
I
And my
totally
daddy
agree.
always told me when I was younger, he said you need to learn how to cook because if you ever get when you get older, if you don't have a woman right off, then you won't starve to death. So you know, so I always learn. I always learn how to cook. Are you taking calls from the brothers? I sure am. I sure am. Matter of fact, I'll send you the link right now. I'm gonna send it to you. In Messenger if this is who I think it is. So we're gonna find out. But yeah, I think that causes a lot. And then you know, you said something else that triggers a lot of people too. You know, women have had to be their own protector, and then when they get with somebody, they're not used to, you know,
Releasing the reins. I know I'm guilty.
releasing the
I was.
reins. And you know that causes a little bit of that back and forth arguing because
Mhm.
you know you could be legit trying and you know trying to show that you in it for the long haul and everything like that, but just keep butting heads.
I was guilty. Oh my God, Pastor, I was guilty because
Mm,
I was scared. I was scared because I had tried a couple of times in relationships and it didn't work. And it was like a tremendous fail. And every time it failed, I felt like I left the relationship with emotional scars.
mm,
So I'm about to get married, right?
yeah,
So
yeah.
when this guy came into my life, it was just like, you. I put him through the ringer. Like he had to
Mm,
really, really prove a lot because I was
mm,
scared. I was
yeah.
scared. I'm not. I don't want any more emotional scars or damage. I'm not gonna let anybody else do that. The
Mm,
Bible says to guard your heart because out of
mm,
it flows the issues of life. And I was just like, I had a guard.
yeah.
Just like this. But you know, I I thank God that he didn't give up and he continued to pursue and wasn't just like, forget her. I
Mm,
thank God that he was very intentional and he was very patient because it took me a moment and honestly, I almost just it was like whatever, I'm fine by myself.
mm,
And it took me a moment to see, wait a minute, this man is really trying to be what I have wanted for such a long time from
uh,
others to be. Just let it happen, Val. Get out of your own
right.
way, girl. This is what you wanted.
Mm,
Just get out of your own way and trust God. At the end of the day, I
yeah.
gotta trust God. If he proves to me that he's not trustworthy, I still trust God that he will heal
Mm,
me the same way
yeah.
he had before.
Yeah. I got you. I got you. Yeah. That's good stuff. You
You
know,
had somebody come in.
I'm trying to see. I sent the
Oh, okay.
link.
I ain't trying to overtalk now because I can
No,
talk
no,
fast.
no, no. You're fine. You are absolutely fine. But yeah, I'm interested in seeing what some of the others got to say. I don't know how much time you got. We've been on a little over 30 minutes right now. But the conversation it's been good. Time flies
I
when you're having
enjoy
fun, right?
Yeah, I enjoy these type of conversations because I think, we kind of neglect them in a way
Right.
because, I remember growing up, we used to have dinner around the big family table
Hmm.
and you get to sit at the table as the young teenager or the young kid and
Yeah.
hear the adults have these type of conversations.
Right.
Well, family doesn't look like that anymore.
Exactly.
Kitchen table talk doesn't happen like that anymore. It's
Hmm.
usually the TV talking to the family. So,
Hmm.
I think that these type conversations are necessary.
Oh
I do,
yeah.
and I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Oh well, thank you. I appreciate you. It's gonna be a lot more to come. This is only the tip of the iceberg. And
Or
with especially with the pandemic going down and everything like that, I think people had time to just think about different things that was going on in the community, and I really believe that black men uh, are trying to do better in our community, And I really believe that we can work this thing out. I really believe it. But, it's going to take some work on both sides. Let's see. He came in, but then he came off.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see if we can get Emmanuel Samuels back on.
So I'm going to say this. You know me as Valerie, but you also know that I'm the Alabama church girl. And I talk taboo topics of the church. And this to me is a taboo topic. So of course I welcome the conversation.
Yeah.
Because something that I ascribe to do is to bring up the conversations that affect change.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that if we begin to help families in the Black church become better, that the Black church itself will become healthier and more whole.
Right. I agree wholeheartedly. Emmanuel Samuels. What's going on, bro? Can you hear us?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Got my mic.
Alabama church girl, can you hear him?
Beep beep toot toot. How you doing, Emmanuel?
What up, church girl?
Hallelujah.
All right. Well, Emmanuel, you've been listening in. What you got to say? You got any thoughts on the topic?
No, I respect everything church girl was saying, and I like the dialogue how it's going so far. I want to join in and give a man's perspective because it seemed like questions are tailored towards like the women. So I'm like, what about the bros? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, let's talk about the bros. Well, go ahead. The floor is yours.
Well, yeah, run that question back. What's that question? It scrolled past the screen.
Do women lose respect for a man that expresses feelings and emotions too much?
So I look at it like this, right? And I don't want to sound egotistical, nothing like that. You go to a car dealership, right?
Right.
Would you go up and buy a new car and be like, car, will you start for me if I'm emotional? If that car don't start for you because you emotional, don't buy that car. Like everybody got emotions, right?
Yeah.
So if somebody discredit, because I've been in several relationships and certain women be like, oh, you too emotional. It's like, so I'm supposed to sit here like a tin can man. I'm not supposed to say none of my feelings. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna say my feelings. If we're in a relationship, you should be able to listen to my input too, right? So it's not like, oh, is it good or bad if she listens or not? It's like if you don't want to listen, you don't. But I'm gonna tell somebody. Right? Yeah. So of course they should listen. Your woman come in and say whatever she want all the time, talking about her coworkers, talking about this, that, who she don't like, her family members. I might just want to say, man, I stubbed my toe. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got you.
I think that links back to what we were saying earlier about everybody needs to have somebody that they can go to.
Yeah, right. Everybody needs a sounding board.
Right. And if you are trying to choose her and she's like, I don't want it, then I agree with you. Don't buy that car.
Yeah, absolutely. But let's take it. Let's take it to this dynamic.
Let's take it there.
So up to this point, we've been talking more.
I may have to step away for 2 seconds to turn off my stove. I got my stove. I mean, my stove on. I might.
Yeah, see, that's another man that can cook.
Oh, I finished cooking dinner too before we got home.
Okay.
We all cooking over here.
Right. Yeah, but go ahead and do what you got to do, Emmanuel. But take it. Let's take it to this dynamic though. Up until now, we kind of been talking more from the perspective of feelings and emotions as it pertains to the relationship. Okay, you said, Emmanuel, that we have to listen to, what they bring, talking about their co-workers or yada, yada, yada. What if a man does the same thing, having problems on his job, and every day it's the same thing? He's expressing his feelings and emotions, right?
Well, to be fair, it's depending on what kind of man you're talking about. Because somebody like me, I might complain day 1, day 2, day 3. But as you know, most men are logical. So we're going to be brainstorming, what can I do to alleviate this problem? We ain't going to just talk about that coworker. We're going to try to find a way to rid ourselves of him, like move to a different department or talk to him or, something. It ain't gonna be the same problem every day. But if you do have a dude that's talking about the same problems every day, then he might be on that female side.
And see, I think you wanted to say something, Alabama church girl?
Yes. Please
Go
pick
ahead.
me.
Go ahead.
Okay. You mentioned the co-workers, Emmanuel.
Mm-hmm.
I think that this is where men are from Venus, men are from Mars and women are from Venus. Because if I'm coming and expressing what's going on my job, what's happening at my job, it's just because I want to vent.
Oh, most definitely. Most definitely. Most definitely.
And
That's
then
the truth.
I've learned that when my guy comes and expresses what's happening on his job, he's trying to find the solution.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's what I'm saying. That's what
yeah, exactly. So it's like, okay, I just want you to be a listening ear, and he wants me to help find some solutions.
Right.
When those lines get crossed, and he's trying to find solutions, and I'm just being the listening ear and not saying anything. Oh, we got problems.
Mm-hmm.
If I can't add anything to help him get to the solution,
Mm-hmm.
then it might be problematic. If he's trying to give me solutions and I'm just like, no, just listen, it might be problematic.
Well, here's a caveat, because if he's wanting you to give solutions, but he ain't looking forward to you actually giving the solution.
Yeah,
because he's the dude, right? So he's like, here's my problems. I want solutions. And in his mind, he's trying to figure it out, right?
Brainstorming.
It's dependent on your reaction. So I had a case where I had a coworker. She was older. She was hitting close to 80. We was bringing up like the Ku Klux Klan, right? She actually had family members and she was pro Ku Klux Klan. So I'm talking to my girl at the time about that. And her responses kind of was like on the woman's side, and my girl was black. And I'm like, shut up. Like, what are you talking about? Like, don't defend this old woman. But that's how she was giving the wrong input. It's like, I just wanted to vent.
Oh, okay.
Her input was horrible. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I totally understand, though. Totally understand. Because I know that it can be frustrating. Work can be frustrating for us all, And the last thing I want is my man to have a hot head at work, because at the end of the day, we got to pay the bills.
Right. Bills still got to be paid.
Right, I'm gonna help you get to this solution. Baby, have you considered this? Did you try this?
Right. Now,
what are we gonna buy your team for Christmas this year?
Yeah, now that's a good solution. Now,
hey, put the
let's take us out of it for a second and let's try to look at our community as a whole. Okay. Now, do most women act like this?
No.
Or the what'd you say?
No.
No, you don't think so?
Of course not.
I've heard a lot of men lately say, that their women, and they might just be with the wrong
Jeff,
women.
Remember when I told you I'm gonna keep it real?
Yeah, keep it real.
I'm a damn sure keep it real. Look, now I will say one thing about, because I hate to put folks in a monolith, right? All black folks don't act the same. All men and women, because I'm an exceptional.
Of course
dude.
not.
I know exceptional women, but in our community, we do play by that game book that we have seen as the mama doing like this to the man. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
The dude just throwing up his hands and be like, F it, and like whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But so in my experience, a lot of the women I talk to, I'm not going to say black women, but the women I talk to, a lot of them feel like they're owed something. I don't know them like that to be owing them nothing, right? But they do feel like they're owed something. So I don't know. I don't want to get too controversial.
No, go
'Cause
ahead.
I got
We
something I
just-
want to say, but I don't want to say
man,
it.
we just
I
talking.
think I want to hear what you want to say.
I don't want to say it.
Because
Put it like this. I'll say this. One of my partners got tired of the BS. He was about business like I am. I'm about my business. I'm about raising my family with no drama. I'm about having a good day every day. Like no drama, no. If I come in and I do my job and you do your job, you shouldn't find nothing wrong, right?
yeah.
Mhm.
So I'll just be honest, man. He went outside his race and he living a perfectly happy life. They got money on top of money. They got love on top of love. They got their kids straight. And he had to jump ship. And I'm like, is that the key? Like, is that the goal now? Because it's like, I don't want Shanae. I don't want no drama. It's like I just want to live. Like I do my job, make my money, like everything good. I'm not arguing with you.
Mhm.
I don't want you to see the color pink and now you're mad at me because it reminded you of something else. And I'm like, the
Yeah.
color pink?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It's different. It's like, so I'm even thinking about like, should I try something new?
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. It's
Say some
crossed my
words
mind
right
too.
now.
What'd you say, Val?
Church girl,
I said,
tell me,
I really want Pastor to say some words because
don't put pastor in the
Emmanuel,
fire.
I'm on another ship.
It's too much of the truth because see, I can't blame it on the girls I date. And I hope my mom and them never watch this live. They like that too. They like that too. They the same way.
So I
Mm.
will say this, Emmanuel. I mentioned earlier, I was raised in a house with this, always arguing and carrying
Yeah,
on.
that's old.
My mom was always and she would cut you up. I never heard my mama curse. Never.
Mm.
But she was so smart that she could run shade around you and cut you to slice you to pieces, and you didn't even know you were cut until you walked out the door and your legs fell off. That's just how good she could use her words.
Wow.
And I learned through her relationship, every time she would do that, I saw my dad leave.
Mm.
So watching that all my years, I learned I don't want to do that. We're gonna learn how to talk
What
to
did you
each other.
think about him leaving?
Now that I'm older and I know the relationship better, I understood that sometimes he would manipulate situations because he knew she was a hothead, and
Whoa.
so that he can get out the house.
I find myself in that boat now. I leave. You know why?
Mm.
I'm not leaving my situation. I'm not leaving my responsibilities. I'm leaving because I'm stopping what's being presented. If I
Yeah,
stay there, it's going to be chaos in front of the kids or whoever. I leave because I don't want them to see nothing. They shouldn't have to
yeah.
witness that chaos. So that's why we leave. And it make us seem like we deadbeats because it's like, she tripping.
So now let me clarify. In my parents' situation, my daddy was being something different. We just didn't know it as children.
You might don't have well, I'm just speaking from recent existence. I don't think a man got a choice in nothing. Because when a
Well,
kid's involved, it's the mama. The mama got to say so. The mama can say he's whatever. The man ain't gonna win. He lost.
no. That's what I'm telling you. As children, we just saw mama acting crazy,
Oh, see, and that's my point. I'm like, well, my older significant other, I'm thinking the same thing. I'm like, your kids see what's actually happening.
Yeah.
Like,
But as
I'm
a
gonna remove
grown
myself so they won't see me involved in none of that.
Yeah. But as a grown woman, I learned the back end of the story.
Okay.
And it wasn't just her acting crazy, but
Okay, gotcha.
my kid, that what was formed in that little mind of mine was, I don't want to argue all the time. I
Yeah.
want to be able to express myself in a way where you clearly understand that I'm not happy with you, but you understand you better come home.
Amen to that.
Ain't no leaving.
Mhm.
That's why I say all black people are not a monolith. She just said something that a man wants to hear. Make sure you come home.
Yeah.
You got females who will be like, I hope you die type shit.
Oh God.
See what I'm saying? I
Mhm.
hope you never come back. And it's like, why? Because you mad at me?
Mhm.
My kids gonna miss out on a good a good family structure because you mad at me? That don't make sense to me.
Yeah, and see, I will say this, Emmanuel. I'm not in a black love relationship. I'm in an interracial relationship.
Oh, so you agree with what I said? I'm glad you agree. I'm about to transition.
Look.
She talking good, and you see what she doing. Okay, you agree. I'm done.
Look, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not
I'm
gonna
gonna
lie.
go
I
visit
thought
the
about it
mountains
myself.
of Caucasus.
But I will say this though, Emmanuel. It's not because I don't like black men.
Of course not. I love black women.
Exactly.
not
And
giving
it's
me a
not
fair
because
shake,
I didn't try.
What can I do?
Yeah, right. Exactly.
I think had we been having some of these conversations prior to my
Hold
current
on. You
situation,
where you're located in what city?
Montgomery.
That's your okay, I got you. You said enough.
Yeah, he got something
You
against
got Young
Montgomery.
Thug and 2 Chainz.
Well, no, listen though, Emmanuel. I'm the Alabama church girl.
What that
I
mean?
have always been a relationship type girl until recently. Honestly, until I was 35 before I said, let me just date around. Cause
Yeah.
doing this one guy thing, it ain't working for me. So
Not in Montgomery.
but listen, it's always been men in the church that I was dating. And
In
it was horrible.
Montgomery.
It was horrible. It shouldn't
In
be that way.
Montgomery.
It shouldn't be that way in no church in
Montgomery
no
is
city.
terrible.
If they really got the love of God in their heart, it shouldn't be that way.
They
Yeah,
ain't just got
what
the love of God, they got the love of Montgomery in their soul.
yeah, what he's
Montgomery
saying is
backwards,
against
man.
Montgomery, period.
Montgomery
Yeah,
and
but-
Birmingham, that's not where you date. Period.
Well,
Period.
what I found. Go ahead, faster.
But
Well,
see, you
I
should
was just
switch the code just because you in Montgomery. You should have branched out. You should have got on the Book of Bumble. Put 100 miles.
I was in church all the time. I was in church all the time.
Hey, I'm in church all the time. I'm the treasurer, Sunday school for the kids, do all that. But
I'm the pastor.
hey,
Wait, Pastor. Now we know they coming to you like they throwing themselves at you.
I don't know about all that now, but
You should you should have no issue.
I don't know about all that, but I'm not gonna tell a lie. I've been thinking about jumping ship too. So
hey,
Well, I
Jeff,
understand that.
Pastor, I'm gonna put y'all, us on my caffeine stream, and if they have questions, I'm gonna bring them up. So I'm gonna set that up.
okay.
So I will say this: it was never something that I just intended to do it. Now I have dated outside of my race. This is not the first relationship outside of my race. I've had 3 or 4, but this is the first long-lasting, long-term. Well, longer than 2 years. Yeah. But it wasn't like it was intentional to just, let me go pursue something different. I didn't do that. It didn't come. It came to me. I didn't go pursuing it, is what I'm trying to explain. And when I went public with my relationship, I initially got a lot of backlash from my black male friends and counterparts. And I'm just like, wait a minute now. What y'all not gonna do? You're not gonna get in my DMs trying to tell me what I need to do.
Right.
When I've been trying to give y'all a chance. My DM was open 2 years ago. If you wanted to holler, you should have shot your shot.
Yeah.
But don't be getting over here now that I'm happy, trying to break up my happy home.
Yeah, I hear you.
So, but what I wanted and desired, I'm going to be who I am regardless. I just want a partner that can handle who I am and what I am. And it didn't matter to me whether, black, white, Asian, Hispanic, it don't matter. It don't matter. I have preferences, but I was prime and key is that I'm going to be at peace and I'm going to be happy.
Yeah, and that's the most important thing about it. And I put a post on my personal page the other day. You protect your peace at all costs, and whatever that looks like to you, you have to protect that peace. And one of my biggest triggers that I've always had is disrespect. And I guess because people think that I'm a pastor, that I don't set boundaries, or because I'm saved, I don't set boundaries. All right, go ahead. That I don't set boundaries, but you have to set those boundaries in order to keep your peace. And I believe that once you reach a certain age, we kind of get set in our ways, and we like to do things a certain way. By now, early 30s, mid 30s, you know what you want. You've been through enough in your life, and you know what you're not going to deal with. And one thing that I'm not going to deal with is disrespect. But a lot of the disrespect comes from our own women. And I wonder why it looks like that.
Well, I can break that down a little bit. The reason why the disrespect is coming from our women, because that's the women we're dealing with. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
If you look out in the horizon, all you can see is like the yard and the trees. You've not really taken the whole world in account, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's why a lot of black folks say, "Oh, black business or black people ain't," because that's who they dealing with, right? But in reality, all business is bad for the most part. So if you deal with multiple like races or whatever, you'll feel the same effect. However, if you do branch out, you'll find out that there's more good women, black, white, whatever race, that's out there. It ain't just us. It's what you used to dealing with. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, okay. But we all look for a certain thing, and what I found out is that people are really good at putting up a facade at first.
Hell yeah.
But then after that 90-day
You
mark,
can't blame them, because when you go for a job for the interview, we'll be like, "Yes, sir. I do this. I do that." We all do it. We all got that facade face. At a certain time, until you get in your profession and you comfortable, like I am, they ask me questions. I'll be like, "Here's your answer. What about the money?" Skip the bullshit. But it's a difference. It's maturity and elevation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But it just seemed like a lot of people are running to the same thing over and over and over and over again. But I mean, like you said, maybe jump ship, is that the answer?
Hell yeah, you better jump ship.
I think, Pastor, it's best to just go after who is gonna make you happy, regardless.
Yeah. However, church girl, what's your name? The Alabama church girl.
Yes.
Did you jump for what made you happy, or did you jump for comfortability?
I think comfort came along with my happy. Comfort came along with, and I'm gonna be honest with you. My guy had pursued me like a couple of years before I actually gave him an opportunity. And let me tell you how weird God is. He's weird. He's funny. He has a sense of humor. Yep. Do you know me and this man went to high school together?
Wow.
And I didn't even know him.
Wow.
Right.
That's amazing.
Exactly.
Did y'all graduate together?
No. he likes to tell people, well, I was a jock and she was a nerd. So that's why we
Got you.
yeah. So, but here we are about to get married. Hometown. Everybody at home knows us.
Yeah, okay. Now let me ask you this: why was it that you gave him, or that it took you 2 years to give him a shot?
Okay. Now we're about to get off into some other things that I might challenge the church on. You might start preaching to me, Pastor, but it's okay.
No. We practical over here.
I got thick skin.
Come on with it.
I don't know how you feel about this, but these are my perspectives.
Mm-hmm.
I know that the Bible tells us not to be drunken with wine.
Mm-hmm.
But I also know that Jesus turned the water into wine.
Mm-hmm. And the Bible says a little bit of wine is good for the belly. So
hallelujah. So I like a little wine sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And when he first inboxed me, he was like asking about me being from Eufaula, from my home, from the same hometown. Yep, from Eufaula.
Well, never mind. Go ahead.
And I was like, okay, who is this guy? And he asked, can we get together and go out for a drink sometimes?
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, I drink a little wine every now.
Wow.
Yes, I like a glass of red wine every now and then. But in his profile picture, he was standing in front of like a bunch of beer. And I was just like, he must think I'm a get along girl. So that's why I did not respond. After he asked that, I ain't say nothing.
Okay.
Because I didn't want him to think, I'm a hookup girl. I'm not that.
Yeah.
No. So he had
what year did you graduate?
You tell me your year first.
05?
Okay. Y'all babies, 97.
Oh, okay, never mind. You don't know nobody I know. Rico, the only guy I know from Eufaula is Rico Bobbins. Oh, yeah, he too. Yeah, that's way. Yeah, that's.
Yeah. But
yeah, so that's why it took 2 years, huh?
Yeah. And when he approached again, I guess he had been studying me long enough to see what my interest was. Yeah. And he was like, hey, can we do some business? I'm trying to get my wine out at your place of business. And I was like, oh, yeah, we can talk. And that's how it happened.
Okay. Yeah, like I said, I'm not gonna cap on here tonight. Yeah, I would be lying if I said no cap. I would be lying if I said that I never thought about jumping ship. But then, people look at you with the side eye.
Why are you worried about what people look at you about?
Right, because they don't have to go home with you.
Well, yeah,
I'm worried about this. What's in these four walls? That's what I'm worried about.
You're absolutely right. But then it's like, okay, well, you wasn't acting right when I was giving you a shot. So what do you expect us to do?
That part.
My perspective.
Go ahead.
Kobe Bryant bounced a basketball, right?
Yeah.
Kobe Bryant. I'm Kobe. They the basketball. I got time to be worried about that. I'm worried about what they thinking and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah, I get you.
Find love. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, even that's going back to what I said about protecting your peace. If you got to jump ship to protect your peace, then I mean that's just what it is. Fair,
it's not about protecting your peace. It is, but not jumping ship. Race ain't got shit to do with that.
Yeah. I understand.
Cultures
what he's saying.
Are different, and some cultures are easier.
And I will say this though, just because you
got
can
a question
manage
from Brian 93, but I'll ask it after you go, Church Girl.
Okay, just because you can manage well and have peace and happiness within the four walls doesn't mean you don't face the difficulties of an interracial relationship outside those four walls.
Yeah, and it's
And
real.
in the thick of this racial climate right now, sometimes it tries to seep inside the four walls as well. So I mean, those things you have to put into perspective too, because it has to be a place where you can have balance. I think that a good woman recognizes a good man the same way a good man recognizes a good woman. And it's
Wow,
not
wow.
about the outer shell. But you had a question.
I'm waiting on it.
Okay.
Because I couldn't decipher what they was really trying to ask.
Okay.
Mm.
So I
But
told him to repeat it.
you said that you're thinking of jumping ship. I think that
Yeah.
I think that any woman that wants a good man will see the goodness that you are sharing.
Mm.
It don't matter what race she is.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter what age she is. You know,
Mm.
how big or how small, how skinny, how tall, it doesn't matter. If she was looking for a good man and that's what you're putting out into the atmosphere, she's gonna see it. She's gonna recognize it.
Okay, I'm glad. I'm
Not
glad you said.
necessarily. Not necessarily.
I'm
A good
glad you.
woman would.
Cause you got
Okay,
yeah.
I'm glad you said that. Now, here it is. I consider. I'm not saying this to toot my own horn or anything like that, but I would consider myself a pretty good dude.
Wow, wow.
But you know, the things that I bring to the table, it doesn't seem like that's what women want. Either A, they don't know how to deal with it, or B, it scares them off and they don't think they're ready for it, so they push me away. And it is not just me. It's a lot of single black men right now. And, I always hear women say, well, there's no good men out here. Where all the good brothers at, especially, 30 and up. That's usually the age that I usually hear it at. But it's like over 50% of us are single and childless and actually want to be with a black woman. But it's so difficult because of, just like the question said, a lack of respect, the attitude, submissiveness, and before anybody start going crazy, being submissive means is being, agreeable, and respect and agreeableness, cooperation. It's hard for us to even find that, and that's all we're looking for. And then we also find it rare. We like it when a black woman is just nice to us. We find that as, oh wow, she didn't come at me with attitude on day 2. We just want somebody to be nice to us.
Yeah.
And if black men say they want black women say they want black men, it's got to be some kind of meeting ground in the middle.
Yeah. I would say
Go ahead.
I am share this with you. I have a brother that's about your age, and he is a good guy.
Mm-hmm.
He is a good guy, good heart, loving, kind, family guy. He's single, no dependents.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a little bit shy, but
Mm-hmm.
he is a good guy who wants a good woman.
Mm-hmm.
Now, his shyness will keep him from actually going after and pursuing.
Mm-hmm.
But he ran across this woman who recognized that he is a good guy.
Mm-hmm.
And she also recognized that he was shy.
Mm-hmm.
So she put the plan in motion and
Uh-huh.
she said, I just went to his job and told all his boss, his coworkers, and everybody, that's going to be my husband. So they can put the bug in his ear that he need to come talk to me.
Mm-hmm.
And she is a good woman. She's a good catch.
Mm-hmm.
She just turned 30, got a master's degree, got a good career on it, no dependents.
Mm-hmm.
She's doing well for herself. But like I said, a good woman will recognize a good man.
Mm-hmm.
Because it'll be certain things she's looking for. And then here you go making your presentation. She's gonna be like, "Whoa, I didn't know it was you, but hey." You know?
Quick thing from
Yeah.
Hendrix Hawkins. He says a lot of women choose degradation rather than dedication, mimicking society like a vulture.
So you know what though, Emmanuel, with that perspective, okay, I think because this conversation was brought up by a pastor, I think that I have been lending to the church world and what the understanding of what the husband and wife figure looks like from a church perspective. But there are a multitude of people that ain't never come to the church, you know, that still want to
Right.
be in a good, wholesome relationship.
Right.
And I do think that our culture is making a presentation of what relationships are currently that might not be the most healthy. I think that maybe media is presenting Black relationships in a way that is not good for our maturation.
No, it's not good at all. I mean, and then especially when you got your mainstream artists, Cardi B and whoever, I don't cook, I don't clean. Let me tell you how I got this ring.
Mhm.
That type of culture.
Here's my issue with that.
Mm,
Who raised you to let you listen to Cardi B and all that? My mama didn't say that. I don't care what Cardi say.
okay, yeah, I
We're
see your
not
point.
that short minded to think that. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
we might
Forget
not
a
be
Cardi
because
B.
yeah,
What Grandma P say?
yeah, we might not be that way because of how we are raised, but everybody's not like that.
Mhm.
That's not the case for everybody. I'm confident in saying that the three of us, had a solid foundation, growing up. Everybody doesn't is not privileged to the upbringing that we had,
Mhm.
you know. And believe it or
So you
not,
should
and
look for
whether
the
we want
women who
to,
had that proper upbringing. Why are we looking for something else?
no, it's okay. So we got to take
That's a good
ourselves.
question.
Yeah, we got to take ourselves aside because it's not just
That's what I'm looking for, though, Carter. I mean,
it's
Jeff.
not just us. I'm looking at our community as a whole. The
Me
majority of
too. Why are we looking for that bottom pit of our community? Like, why would a top tier dude look at the bottom of our community saying, "Why come she ain't blah 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 blah"? I ain't got to worry about that. Find who you looking for, right?
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
I think with that though, Emmanuel, sometimes people are looking at the bottom because the package looks real good.
Oh, I got
Yeah,
another question from Byron
that's true.
93. He's saying, as far as pregnant women go, women with attitude and emotion,
What's
how
the
does he
question?
handle that
Oh, that's a
while they're
sensitive
pregnant? But
situation.
I can answer that. Postpartum is real. You sit your ass there and you deal with it. Point blank. Deal with it. She got a whole human growing. It don't make sense. Deal with it. That's it. Just deal with it. It's crazy, but deal with it.
Mhm.
Amen.
So so that bottom of the barrel, I don't know if I want to say it like that, but there are a lot of attractive, physically attractive people that might not have um, the upbringing that you just mentioned.
Right.
And sometimes I think men and women alike will go after what's physically attractive to them, to their eyes, and not really pursue what's attractive to their soul.
Yeah.
You're looking for a soul mate and not an eye mate.
Right. Right.
I think you strike gold when you can get both, but you know.
Yeah, exactly. And then, sometimes too, when you approach somebody or when somebody's approaching you, you don't always know, the backstory of that person. you know, I automatically assume, and I shouldn't assume, but I automatically assume that most people that I approach or approach me are upstanding people and have had, a decent upbringing. But, again, it's some folk we grew up in the church, and it's some folk that ain't never stepped foot in the church. So,
Pastor,
yes,
I done had some terrible relationships, and I learned through them terrible relationships to check the Carfax.
right.
Check the Carfax. When they open their mouth, I got, like I said, by the time I got to 35, I was like, God,
Mhm.
we ain't finna keep doing this. I am not
Right.
finna keep, or I'm gonna be a single woman and I'm just gonna slut my way to heaven. Because we ain't finna keep doing this.
Not slut your way to heaven.
That's what I told him. That's what I told him. Because
Ooh,
we like a little man every now and then, but come on,
uh,
I'm not gonna deal with all this emotional trauma either.
mhm.
Anywho,
Right.
I'm just keeping it real. But the thing that I had to start doing is when the man opened his mouth, I'm asking the right questions. I just
Mhm.
like I'm at a job interview. You trying out for this job, sir.
Yeah.
You are trying out,
Mhm.
auditioning for the job. So I'm listening to everything you say. And then when you start
Mhm.
talking all crazy about your baby mama, you start talking crazy about your ex-girlfriend, I know you might be crazy. I
Mm.
might not want to talk to you because
Mm.
it's easy to enter into a relationship, but it can be terrible exiting. So
Yeah.
I'm listening to how you exited the last one because I
Right.
know it gives me signs of who you are as a person in general. That you
Mhm.
might present yourself well today, but just like y'all said, after them 90 days, I get that
Mhm.
other presentation. So I'm listening for it from off the rip.
Right. 90 days. 90 days. If anybody putting up an act, they cannot keep it up past 90 days.
Mm-mm.
Guaranteed.
Amen. Amen.
I am
Amen.
listening. Yeah, and
Amen.
even even the way people talk about the server. I remember this one guy. Now
Mhm.
at the time, I was just dating. Just dating. I might go to breakfast with somebody. I might go to lunch with somebody different. I
Mhm.
was just
Yeah.
dating, and this guy. I talked to him for a couple of weeks. We having good conversation or whatever. But I started noticing he had anger issues.
Mhm.
And the way he talked about the people he worked with and how angry he would get, like to the point where he would say stuff like "I kill her" and stuff like that. I was
Oh
like,
God.
"Oh
Oh.
no,"
Crazy,
you
dude.
know.
Yeah.
And he would share situations um that were so minute in my perspective, but he would be so angry about it. I was like, this
Mhm.
can't go no further. Can't go
Yeah.
no further. Because if you can be like this with somebody you don't even know, the people that can get under your skin the most are the ones that are closest to you. So what type of
Right.
anger would you display towards the person closest to you? No, I can't do it.
Yeah.
Blocked.
I hear you. Block with the quickness. Yeah.
Yes.
I'm with you 100%. Yeah, you got to do your vetting these days, and then especially when you're getting past 30, you don't have a year and a half, to go through and waste your time. You got
Thank
to
you.
vet and vet quick.
Thank you. I'm trying to,
Yeah,
I'm trying to go around the world with somebody and be happy and put on my bathing suit and pose for the camera. Flick, flick.
yeah,
Man,
yeah.
I'm trying to be happy. I'm not trying to be, dragging somebody. Come on, get right. Come on. No, no, we
Mm,
ain't doing that.
right, right.
We ain't doing
Yeah,
that.
I hear you. You got to
We,
vet and vet quickly.
mm-mm.
Yeah. All right. So you look. It's been a very, very good conversation. I don't want to hold everybody up too long. We've been on a little over an hour, just little under an hour and a half. So, yeah, time flies when you're having fun. We got to do it again.
It sounds great.
Emmanuel.
Let's see. What's today? Today's Monday. Maybe we'll do it again next Monday.
Sounds great.
All right. Any last thoughts, Alabama church girl?
I just want to say thank you again for bringing the conversation to the table. Nice to meet you, Emmanuel. Thank you for engaging in great conversation as well tonight.
Yeah, well, thank you for joining us, Alabama Church Girl, Emmanuel Samuels. Thank you so much for chiming in. Yo, we're going to have to do it again next week. We'll do it again
Sounds
next week.
good. Let's
Same
do
time,
it.
same place. All right. We'll
Yeah,
be
have a
back.
good night.
I'm gonna call you,
All
bro.
right. Y'all take care. We out.